Showtime. We in here. Hey, give me a second. Let me get us up on IG.
Oh shit! Here we go.
I don't think we're gonna have TK tonight. I think it's just gonna be me and you, Johnny Dumbbell.
Hey man, some people got
But
to work it double, you know.
hey, I get it. I appreciate it when either of you have time to donate and help these young men out, because really that's what we're here for. We want to help you guys out. We know a lot of you are misled, mistaken. A lot of you haven't been given the tools that you need to be a masculine man. And a lot of you guys are lost. So Johnny and I want you guys to do better. We want to see you all do better. So we donate our time and we call out different things. And Johnny and I don't always get along. Now, something I started doing last year was something that I called a red pill review. And I would break down different red pill content creators, what they're saying, and why I felt that it was cap. And I've moved on to other stuff, but I realize with Johnny and with TK and the guys on the panel, we don't always need to do the same dating stuff over and over again. So tonight we're going to do, for a Monday, we're going to do a Manosphere review. Now, full disclosure, before we get started, I'm not part of the Manosphere. I'm not with any different colored pills. I'm not with any movements. Look, I'm not some pickup artist. I'm not even a dating coach. And I would go as far as to say that I don't even have game. So you're probably wondering why I do this. Hey, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked, because I do have extensive experience with women. So I know firsthand, most of you fellas have no idea what you're even up against. That woman you're going to marry, have kids with, that's the biggest decision you're going to make in your entire life. So you better not mess that up. So me, Johnny Dumbbell, and at times TK, we like to get together and help some of you misguided youths get on the right path. So tonight we are going to review a clip by a YouTube channel named Fit and Fearless. And shout out to him. He has a very successful YouTube channel. And he's
Great
talking
traps.
some things that I don't know if I agree with. Johnny, you know how I am about some of this stuff, dog. He's talking about 5 things you must always hide from women. And Johnny, before we get started, I want to tell these guys out there how important and essential it is that they're open and honest with women. So now maybe my man here is trolling in his title a little bit. Okay, so I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I want to review the clip. If you want me to stop it and pause it anywhere, just holler at your boy. Typically, when I do these, I'll run it through once and then I'll break it down on my way back. But I think this is a little bit longer than what I normally do. This is, 18 minutes long. So we're not going to run through it once. We'll stop it as he's playing it. If you got something you want to speak on, or I want to challenge something he's saying, we'll go ahead and pause it. But I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, even though I want to tell all these young men you should be open and honest with women and you shouldn't be hiding anything from them. So
yeah, I mean, and I agree with that. One of the things, 2 things about that. Number one, if you misrepresent yourself, it's going to be discovered sooner or later. Trust me, we've all done it. Number 2, understand that if you're going into, any kind of relationship under false pretenses, of course, we're just friends. Yeah, don't worry, we're just friends. But you have the intentions of going further, you are going to be that guy that when she decides to hook up with somebody other than you, you'll be asking, why do they always do this to me? Well, they didn't do this to you. You did this to you. You walked yourself into that friend zone room, and we're going to show you how to avoid doing that if that comes up in this particular discussion. But, the point is, you need to make those intentions known. You're never going to sneak under the radar as a friend and then become more. You're going to be much more successful by just saying, hey, look, I'm into you. Are we good? I mean, I wouldn't say it like that, but, make sure that that's upfront and honest and that's like the known intention. You're not going to sneak under her radar. They are far too crafty for that.
All right, let's get started here with Fit and Fearless on 5 things you should always hide from women.
Too much to women. There are things about you, bro, that nobody should ever know. A lot of y'all do some weird stuff that you should only know about. Please.
Hey, Johnny, I gotta say, I kind of agree with that, man. I know some dudes that do some weird stuff, man.
Sure.
But let's keep going here.
Let's go, boys. Let's go. All right, guys, man, welcome back to another video. And today, I'm here to teach you 5 things you must always hide from women. So, guys, as a man in the modern world, there are things that you need to keep to yourself when you're dealing with women so you don't destroy the mystery. A lot of guys end up.
All right, let me stop it right there. Well, you know what? Let him continue because I think I know.
Yeah, I want to hear a little. I want to hear him elaborate on that. Yeah,
talking their way out of booty. A lot of guys end up saying,
all right. And this is something we mentioned quite a bit about how when guys start talking, they turn women off and they become boring to them.
well, I want to hear the rest of what
that turn women off, and you don't even realize, damn, I said this one thing. She's not going to tell you what you said that turned her off. She's not going to say, oh, yeah, I remember you said this, and it kind of drew me off. She's just going to ghost you. She's just going to stop responding. She's just going to move on to the next guy. So these are 5 things you must always keep to yourself when you're dealing with women. Number 1, your intentions. Guys, I know it's sleazebally. I understand that, this might come.
All right. So I want to
wait,
get this straight. He's saying you need to hide your intentions.
I'm going to let him finish.
We'll hear him out,
on
Johnny.
the surface, I don't disagree. On the surface, I disagree, but I want to see what he says.
Oh, insincere, unsincere, whatever that word is, right? But guys, women are the masters of this game. Women are the masters of keeping their intentions to themselves and then figuring out what's best for them. I learned from women. They taught me how to do this. So I'm just playing the same game. And I'm just teaching my guys to play the same game, right? Your intentions in terms of what you want with a woman, you want her to determine that by her behavior. I don't want.
Look, I got to stop this, Johnny. I don't like how he said playing games because you shouldn't be playing games with women, dog.
You guys going on dates. I don't want you guys.
Look, shout out to
I
Miles
really want
Cunningham.
I kind of want him to
the
finish.
Game ain't no
You know what I
game.
mean? No.
All right, hey, let's rock with it. Hey, you want to hear Johnny? Yeah. I'll play.
Because I'll break it down once he's done, but I want to I want to see what he's got about.
Hanging out with women, and you're automatically telling her how you feel. You're automatically telling her what you want from her. Yeah, I just want to smash. You better not ever say that. Yeah, I want a relationship.
Why not, Johnny? Would you agree with that? That you should. I mean, I don't understand. Why can't you be open and honest and let women know if that's all you're looking for?
There are ladies out there that if you're just interested in like casual encounters, physical, this and that. I mean, in my younger days, I met plenty of those, and I had a great time with them. The thing of it is that one thing I do have to say I agree with them on is don't be bringing your feelings out on the first date, 2 dates, 3 dates. You should not be sitting here saying, I got to tell you, I'm really starting to fall for you. You can say that after 60, 90 days. You can say that after, and I'm not saying that there's an absolute guideline of how many days, but you've got to be able to gauge her level of interest in you. And this is what I preach all the time. I've preached this for 15 freaking years. You've got to be looking at her body language. You've got to be looking at her actions. And then you can decide, does the person who's interested do this or do they not? So once you've gauged that, at that point, you can start to kind of let her in a little bit of what you might be thinking, but you don't need to pour your heart out into a cup and hand it to her. That's what I think he's saying as far as the feelings part of it goes. But I'm going to go ahead and disagree with him on the whole thing where, I'm in a stage right now that if I meet a girl, if I was single and I met a girl and all I wanted to do was kind of do the physical thing because, hey, maybe I just got out of a relationship, or maybe I'm, just not ready to commit fully to something. That's one thing. And if she's not on that same page, if she's looking for something more meaningful, hey man, she could just say, hey, I'm not into that. All right, cool, man. That sucks. I won't be smashing, but hey, it's cool. The thing of it is that this is what he's saying is that you can avoid that mutual hurt feelings or one person getting your feelings hurt if you just make sure that going into it, hey man, you open the door, you got your I just looking to smash shirt on, or you've got your I'm looking for a relationship shirt on. She can clearly read the print on that. And I mean, that's going to be it's going to carry you farther than going in there acting like you want to try to be friends and then think you're going to weasel your way into more. And I feel like that's what he's kind of going with. Either that or just pouring it out too soon.
I don't like how he's saying hide your intentions, because I need to be open and honest about my intentions with that woman so she can decide on her own if she wants to rock with me or not. So
yeah, I think
like,
mostly what he's saying though is don't lay all of your cards out on the table. At least that's what I'm getting.
Okay. Well, let's keep going. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah.
What else he's got?
You better not ever say that either. Your intentions must be kept to yourself.
See, here's where I disagree, because all right, your intentions should only be for her time. Your expectations should only be for her time. If you have intentions outside of that, then you might have a need to hide your intentions. Like if your intentions are sex, of course you're going to need to hide your intentions. But if your intentions are just giving her the opportunity to get to know you, why do you need to hide your intentions, dog? I don't
know
get
that
it.
I'm not sure that I'm not sure that intentions is necessarily the word he wants to use here. I feel like what he's really saying is don't let them too far into your mind to know what you're thinking. And he kind of elaborates on that unintentionally by saying, look, these girls are masters of that, and they are. So that's what I think. I think what it is like you're not going to socially engineer these girls into doing something that they didn't already at least kind of consider doing before you guys got together. So I mean, that's what I feel he's trying to say, but I got to hear more.
And I have trouble understanding that too, because what do her intentions have to do with my standards? It's going to be my standards that dictate my interaction with her, not her intentions.
Well, we're I think at this point we're just assuming that she's already met your standards so far, and we're still qualifying her at this stage. That's what it sounds like.
Okay. All right, let's keep going here, Johnny.
That's a sales process there.
Ever. I don't even care if it's a girl you want to be with forever. She better not know that. You can never give women the security that their spot is not up for grabs. I did not create women.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So what it sounds like he's saying there is, it sounds like he's saying, if you love her, don't let her know you love her. But I don't think that's what he means. What it sounds like he's saying to me is, yeah, what it sounds like he's saying to me is, you can let her know that you care about her. You can let her know that you love her, but you can't let her know that you'll never leave her. And I think that's what it is. He's in a nutshell, I think he's expanding on the concept of she still has to be able to believe that if she becomes too insufferable, instead of whining and crying about it to her and starting fights all the time, you're just going to walk away eventually. And she has to never believe that she doesn't have to maintain a positive attitude at all times. She doesn't have to maintain, being pleasing to the eye, being pleasing to the mind, being pleasing to the soul, to the heart. Well, she has to still do those things that make you love her. She can't just take it for granted. And I really feel like what he's trying to say is, don't let this girl feel like no matter what, she has a permanent spot in your life just because now she's here. She has to have that competitive instinct. She has to be worried that another girl might snatch you up. Not that you're going to be out there looking for it, but she has to believe that if you walked away, you could find somebody else. And that's what it sounds like he's saying.
So,
and I agree.
I like the fact that, like the women that you're dealing with need to know that they are replaceable. And if they disappoint you, if they let you down, you will walk away from them. And that should
Well, and
be
the thing of it is,
standard operating procedure for all
right.
women that you're dealing
Well,
with.
remember he's talking to people who are looking for advice just like we are. Talking to
Got
people
it.
looking for, you know what I'm saying? So he's got to break it down too to some of these guys that are new to this whole thing. Guys who've never thought about this stuff. There's two types of guys that kind of get into that. Those guys that always had a hard time getting girls because maybe they didn't look that great. And then there's those guys that always look good, always got the girls, and now that has started to fade, and they realize that they've gotten by on their looks all their life, and they, I don't want to say don't have game, but have no idea how to approach it from a perspective beyond that.
Johnny, I run into so many different types of young men. Like, I'm always chopping it up with them, talking to them, doing research, putting them on. And I gotta tell
those
you,
guys don't do
you
that.
know what? I know, but I have so many questions, dog. I have questions. I'm gonna get a shirt made up and say I have some questions. But at any rate, so
we'll coordinate. I'll wear my your shirt.
All right, we're getting off track here.
Yeah,
but let's keep going, man.
I'm just playing the game. I'm just telling you how they are. All right, women are the most submissive operative when they're chasing something. Yeah, you should.
I don't disagree with that, John.
Men and women code switch when we begin talking to someone to whom we are attracted. That's just human nature. Okay. Now the smart man, the disciplined man, the man who knows what he's talking about, like this gentleman and us, they know to kind of keep that up here, but don't let them know that it's there. You know what I'm saying? That's where you know, I really think communication is important, but remember that we want to make sure that we're not laying all the cards. Like I said, we're not laying all those cards on the table already. Like not up, you know, not up front.
All right, let's keep going here.
She can never be uncertain if you're telling her exactly where you stand. So if you go on a date, bro, if you're going to meet a woman and you are a guy that's looking for a girlfriend, you better not tell her that. If you're a guy that you're not really feeling her like that, but you just want to.
I find some dishonesty in that.
I missed that whole last part.
Am I having internet lagging issues?
Yeah.
Let me run this back a few minutes
for a few seconds for you.
If you're going to meet a woman and you are a guy that's looking for a girlfriend, you feeling her, you just want to smash, you better not tell her that, right?
Yeah, I don't like that. If you just want to smash, what's wrong with telling her you just want to smash? Like, why would you make her think that you're into getting into a relationship with her if you just want to smash?
Right, and the next thing you know, that's going to be the same.
No.
You know, that's where, yeah, you're gonna see her putting up a Facebook post about how all guys are players. You know, at that point, you know, no. But the thing of it is that the girls who are okay with just doing the physical thing, hey man, those are the ones that aren't going to go crying on Facebook if they can't find a good guy. Those are the ones that are actually a little more realistic about the situation that they're in, or else they wouldn't be in it. You know, so are they out there? Absolutely. But I think what he's saying, he's talking about on the first date. No, I mean, one of the things that it's important to remember is that people need to be on their toes. It's human nature to become complacent when we think that we're irreplaceable in a certain situation. And I'm not even just talking about relationships. I've seen people who are complacent in their jobs because they'll never get fired. I've seen people who are complacent in their community because they hold a high position in, you know, an establishment or a church, or hell, they might even just be the cool bartender in town. The point is, they hold that status. Okay, they hold that, you know, particular, you know, persona, and they have to know that that could all come crashing down if they get complacent and realize, oh, well, I'm all you got as far as this goes. And it's the same thing with relationships. If a woman believes that she's all you've got and that you can't do any better, there are a few women out there that won't take advantage of that, but they'll still lose respect for you, and that relationship still probably won't last. But the modern dating situation that we find ourselves in, a lot of women out there, and I'm not even going to begin to know what the percentage is, but a lot of them out there, if they know they've got you here and you can't or won't seek out better, there's no reason for them to treat you with any kind of love, respect, or even behave in a respectful manner.
See, Johnny, I don't like how he said that if you're looking for a relationship, you better not tell her, because
he's talking about on the first
I don't know
date.
why you're looking for a relationship with her before you even know her. So I kind of
that's what he's saying. That's his point.
That, because look, but the thing is if that's what you want, if you want to be booed up with one woman, you need to be upfront with her about that. Because look, women but
not on the first date is what he's saying, though.
Well, women have to decide if you're going to get too clingy with them if they sleep with you. So, she sleeps with you and then you start becoming possessive and getting weird and start inviting yourself over to her crib. Like, they got to consider all that stuff. So,
and take that scenario.
I just want to say that when you're dating, you should be dating with intentions, dating with purpose. Now, that purpose is uniquely suited to each guy. Some guys are dating to be in a relationship. Other guys are dating for, intimate encounters, but you should have an intention or purpose for all of everything you're dating, and what you want with that woman, you need to disclose with her so she can decide if she's willing to rock with it or not. So I don't like that he wants to hide stuff, if your intention.
I don't like that he uses the word hide, but I do agree with the concept of not laying your cards out on the table. Like I said, he's talking about on the first, second, third date. Okay. And here's the thing. I know a lot of girls who have been into a guy, who have been interested in him, and they'll go out on 1 or 2 dates. And you said it yourself. These guys are talking themselves out of a good situation, whether it's sexual or not. They get to that point where they're on that first date, and the first thing, and this is why I tell them, one compliment a night, because if you don't stick to that, you're going to get to that point where, oh, I'm having a great time. Are you? Oh, wow, I really like the way you look tonight. I love that dress on you. Boy, your earrings you're so pretty. My gosh, I really hope we get. And so I think he's talking about those guys that are so quick to say, an hour into dinner before they've even paid the check, wow, I'm really looking for a relationship here. Ladies will go on a date, even if they aren't necessarily looking for a relationship. But even if they are, there is an easy way to talk your way out of even having potential for that by laying those cards out on the table too quick. She needs to have some kind of a mystery about you. She needs to have some kind of, girls like to peel through the layers like an onion. Okay. And I think that's what he's saying. He's saying, don't give her a cross section. Don't cut that onion in half, let her go through those layers. I think he's not using the best choice of words, because he's saying words like hide and things like that. I really don't think that's what he means. I think what he's trying to say is, you don't need to be over the top, head over heels for somebody 6 hours into knowing.
Okay. Well, let's keep going. Well, I don't even think we're halfway through yet.
Yeah.
I would say, if a woman, I don't believe in, disrespecting girls and, just kicking them out after you get what you get. But you got to play it smart, right? Women go on dates with guys for free food. I see this all over the internet. They use guys for dates. I'm not saying you're going to use women for.
Okay. I'm not saying that doesn't happen either.
The rest of
because okay, but look, there's simps out there that are willing to do this. That's why they get away with this, because there's guys who, I just want to spend some time with you, and they're willing to take them wherever they want to eat to do that.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's keep going, man.
And listen, just because they're being nice guys does not mean their intentions are pure. They're going to put out false intentions. Like you said, they might be trying to smash, but they're going to sit there and say, yeah, I want a relationship. Sure, I love you. Is that going to get me in there? And that's, he's definitely touching on that.
The nice guys are the worst. They are so misleading with what they want. Look, we'll do it, Johnny. We'll do a show on that. How the nice guys are really the bad guys, and the bad boys are, because we're sure. I get it. Women get upset. Sometimes we make women cry because we have to tell them, no, we don't have time. No, we can't do that. No, I'm not doing that. I mean, I get it, but I'm getting off track again, man. Let's get back to our review here.
For some cheeks, but whatever you want from her, keep it to you. I would much rather a woman's behavior determine how long I stay in her life.
Hey, he's spot on there. Her behavior is essential to how long I'm staying around, dog.
Well, and that's why I wanted to hear him out, because I know that's what he's kind of getting to here. Because remember, he's not saying don't ever tell him. He's saying make them earn your,
Okay.
Yeah.
After that, I was not sweating nothing. Right? She actually has told me several times that she thought it was just gonna be a one night stand, or we smashed a few times and it was over. But I let her behavior determine how long she's gonna stay in my life. So hey, we might have a good time on the first date, second date, third date. We might hang out for a few months, and you act right, or you bring peace to my life, and I decide to keep you longer.
I like
so
that.
I'm being very, very fair by keeping my intentions to myself, because I don't know
That's
how
what I
this
wanted to
girl's
hear.
going to behave in the next 3 months, 6 months.
They lost me.
A lot of you guys, you give women the certificate of, here, I want to be yours. Here, your spot is secure in my life. And then they take that security and say, oh, okay, I can do whatever I want. Oh, I can disrespect him. He never gonna go anywhere. I might need a girl tonight that I sleep with, and I don't think nothing much of it. But she just adds so much.
You want to speak on that, Johnny?
No, I mean, that was exactly the point that I was making. He's absolutely correct. I mean, this is exactly it. So that's what I mean. He doesn't mean hide your intentions and don't tell him what you're trying to do. What he's saying is don't start doing somersaults and telling her how secure her place is in your life if she hasn't earned it yet. She's not going to do that for you if you haven't.
All right, let's keep going.
Value my life. Moving forward, that I just be slick about it. You want to be okay? I'm gonna see what you about. I don't know what this is gonna be, and that's being honest. That is being completely honest. I don't know what this is gonna be, but I'm gonna let you determine that. You want to start playing games in the
Don't predict the future, and don't try to write your own future.
I don't really let women determine their role in my life. I determine their role in my life.
Well, what he's saying is let their behavior determine whether or not you accept them as a person in your life with a role.
You want to start playing games?
All right.
6 months, you're out of here. You want to start playing games in the year, you're out of here. All right. So I'm not gonna go and say, oh yeah, I just want to smash. First of all, you're killing all the mystery.
I don't think there's anything wrong with telling women you just want to smash.
Well, maybe, but here's the thing. What he's trying to say is that there is a certain attraction that women have to uncertainty. Okay. And I know that's going to sound terrible. It's going to hit the ear wrong. But what I mean by that is, I mean, imagine if you watched a movie that you've never seen before, even though you know how it's going to end. Why do you think I didn't like the movie Titanic? I know the friggin' ship sinks at the end. All right. I'll never let go, Jack. And then she dumps him in the water. But the point is, I mean, I would never watch a movie that I thought was going to be a great movie, but yeah, I already know how it's going to end. And look, ladies are no different. I don't think that they necessarily want to just go up to a guy. They don't want predictability. They don't want that guy who they know what time he's going to wake up. They know what time he's going to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They know what time he's going to bed. And that's going to be after Bible study. This is a predictable guy that, there's no excitement. And look, I don't think you have to be a woman to be attracted to excitement and something new on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. One of the biggest complaints I hear about women is that men never change. And frankly, I think that's womanese for men can be too predictable if they become too complacent. And when they become too complacent, the minute you told a woman, I see a forever future with you, that is a form of complacency. It might be a very, very nice thing to say to her, and she might be flattered to hear it now. But like he said, 6 months, a year from now, if she goofs up, she does something wrong or stupid, you know, she's probably doing it because you already told her in not so many words that there's nothing she could do to make you dump her. And that's a very dangerous place for a man to be.
Let's keep going here, Johnny.
There's no appeal to seduction for the woman. She's not gonna sleep with you anyways, right?
See, being upfront about smashing though, it's all right. Let's keep
if
going.
you go and you say you want a relationship, damn, no other girl wants you. Men that have a lot of women are not rushing to get in relationships. What's wrong with this dude? No matter what you say, it's gonna work work against you. Whatever you tell women you want, it's always gonna work against you unless you tell her you're just following the flow. You're letting things happen naturally. That's my favorite word.
See, I can't, Johnny, we gotta talk about this for a second, man. I can't just go with the flow, dog. I gotta have a program for the women in my life. There's a procedure, there's a way,
I don't.
certain way that things need done, and I just can't go with the flow. I dictate the pace of the. So going with the flow, to me, it's more like she's got to go along with my plan and what I'm trying to do and be on my program. So
Maybe, but I'm all touch and go until you give me a reason to be a little more committal. Yeah, I'm all about being touch and go with the flow until you give me a reason to go with a joint flow, so to speak.
See, I go with the flow. See, like I said, I create the flow. I'm the one planning the dates. I'm the one saying, hey, let's go get drinks here at this time, at this place. I'm the one who's setting up the next date on that date.
Well, we're not saying that. We're talking about,
hey, I'm winging it, and I guess I'll see you if I see you.
well, yeah, we're talking about, though, whether or not you decide to see her again. Now, I think what we're talking about here is, let's say the first date came and went, maybe even the second, third date came and went. Whether you smashed or not, whether things happened or not, you still have to qualify this girl as to whether or not you're going to continue to see her. And guess what? She's going to do the same for you. Okay. And my thing is this, since I believe that in my life, I need to be the one that does the choosing. My thing is, hey, I'm cool with hanging out. It's like I've always said before, I have no problem hanging out with a girl. We can do the sex thing. We can do, all of those stuff, but you are going to have to give me a reason to want to carry it further into a relationship. Otherwise, if I'm a single guy, you're just on my roster. And Bill, I know you know about that.
See, Johnny, I like to think that the women choose me. They're picking a winner. You're
not a beginner, though. You're not a beginner. You're not a dabbler who's just learning this stuff, Bill. Here's the thing. Once again, we know you're swinging a sledgehammer down there, but what's happening here is this gentleman's talking to guys who either have one and don't know it, or have no idea how to find their own personal sledgehammer. It doesn't have to be that, okay? So these guys, he's not talking to guys like us who think we know it all. He's talking to guys who don't know whether to shit or wind their watch, okay? That's what.
And shout out to K-Zag. He always says that guys have a very remedial understanding of attraction. So I'm glad that there are people out here that are breaking it down for some of these guys who just don't get it. For some of these guys, Johnny, there are guys that are afraid to go talk to women. They're terrified of women.
To a certain extent, I can kind of understand that. Look at some of the TikTok videos out there shaming men for having the nerve to approach her. Look at all the TikTok videos of girls out there going, I can't understand why guys think it's okay to just walk up to me. Of course, there's guys that are out there that are afraid. They are afraid to be publicly shamed, or worse, accused of some sort of harassment when all they did was want to talk. There are a lot of willing victims out there who are just waiting to, be able to get on their soapbox for a few minutes and go, oh my God, does everyone see how hot I am? I'm so hot that all the guys that want me annoy me. And that's that kind of attention grab there. So, I mean, of course, guys are afraid of that, especially in this day and age when there's cameras and microphones everywhere. We're working with those right now. At least we know about it. But the thing of it is that guys are afraid of the public shaming. And let me tell you something, we were afraid of it before it was able to be posted on social media. You know, remember that when a woman rudely rejects a guy in 2024, it's the subject of comedy. When a man does it, it's abuse, it's toxicity, it's all that other stuff. So you have to be mindful of those double standards. As unfortunate as they are, you're never going to change that. So you might as well roll with it and use it to your advantage if and when you can.
All right, let's keep going on our clip here.
I like to say there's a lover's
the honest truth. It's up to her. Everything might be good now. But 3 months from now, you start playing games, you start being too combative, or you might start off as something that I'm not crazy about. I'm not trying to make happen. And then you add so much value in my life that I keep you in my life for longer. So it's up to her. So that's the first thing. You got to keep your intentions to yourself. Do not tell women what you're looking for. I would much rather you let things happen naturally and let her behavior determine how long she will stay in your life. Number 2, how much money you make. Oh, this is a big one, bro. Especially for the guys who start making a little bit of money. Especially for the
okay, dog. I look. All right, let me just, before he says anything, there's a way. Okay, so when you're talking to a woman and she asks you about your job or where you work, there's a way to conduct yourself and answer that question respectfully, letting her know that you don't discuss finances with people that you don't know very well. And then what I like to do is ask them, I kind of like, dog, I'll turn it around on them and ask them where I work has to do with how compatible we are. So I'm letting them know that I don't want to. Go ahead.
I wouldn't go the combative.
Go ahead, Johnny.
I mean, my thing when it comes to uncomfortable questions, because ladies ask quite a few of those, I like to kind of, and look, I'm a goofy guy. I got a sense of humor. I like to respond with something funny. I like to respond with a good sense of humor. If she were to say, what do you do for a living? I could say something like, oh gosh, I would love to tell you, but my bosses at the CIA told me I have to keep that quiet. Or something like that. I'll make a joke. Another one that they love to ask, and this is free advice, guys. Don't ever tell them what went wrong in your previous relationships. She can learn that if she manages to stick around for a longer period of time. But on the first, second, third date, no. That's a poor idea. Number 1, never tell them if you've been cheated on. And I'll explain that later. But number 2, my biggest thing is the best answer you can give in that situation, and I'll leave it at this, is when she says, well, what happened in your last relationship? Now, I like to be like, she said I never listened or something, and I wasn't really paying attention. And I'll make a joke out of that, But these are the kinds of, and you can even quickly follow up with, well, what about you? Now, remember, you're using the fact that you're using the fact that they love to talk about themselves to your advantage in that particular situation. So now, not only have you been able to avoid telling her what went wrong, but you might even be able to gather a little information on your own. Remember, there is a lover's war going out there, and the more you know, the better off you'll be.
That's the point I was trying to make to TK. I think about 2 weeks ago, we were talking about how I don't ask women questions. Once they get the opportunity to talk about themselves and start disclosing stuff, they will give you all kind of juicy little tidbits if you know how to pay attention. But I want to go back to talking about what you do for a living with a woman. You don't have to be combative about it. You just have to be assertive. Like, look, I don't talk about finances with people I don't know. And, you shouldn't have to explain yourself. Like, I'm big on that, man. I'm not explaining myself to a woman.
Yes.
No, like we don't do that over here. We're not talking about that. That doesn't affect how compatible we are. So, and I got to tell you, the women that I deal with, Johnny, they respect that. And they move on and they wait till it comes up later down the road in some natural conversation. So again, I don't think you should be hiding things from women. I think you need to be very open and honest, but I understand why he's telling people who have good jobs, who have a good salary, that they shouldn't be talking about this, because when you start standing on what you do for a living, you're basically leading with your wallet, which is one step away from simping, dog. So
and here's another bit of free advice, young men.
So
pay attention to how early on she asks you that question.
So if you have to hide what you make to prevent yourself from simping, I can kind of see where that advice could be coming from. Although I don't necessarily
simps don't think they need to prevent themselves from being simps, though. That's the problem. That's what makes them simps.
Well, Johnny, shout out to the old Greek philosopher Jonius Dumbellius, who used to say that simps have an addiction, and
sure,
that it's like any other addiction. So, yep. But let's move on and let's see what else we got.
Start making a little bit of money. So this is the problem with this, guys. As men, we understand that us being stable, us making money makes us a catch to women. But women want to know that indirectly. They want to figure out how well you're doing in life by their searching. You don't want to be the guy that's going up to a date, or you're at a date, and like the guys I've seen on TikTok, you over here showing her your bank portfolio, showing her your investment portfolio. Look at me, I got millions of dollars. You look like a fool. You look like a clown. Anything you do that is trying to prove yourself only disqualifies you from women. Because think about it. If you're a guy that's extremely successful, you make a lot of...
Hey, Johnny, this is something we talk about, that whenever you try to impress women, you're essentially trying to manipulate them.
Yeah, it's called don't prove yourself, just describe yourself. Don't explain yourself, just describe yourself. That's what this is about, or at least what's supposed to be.
Keep going.
Money. Women want to be in your life. Why do you have to tell women how much money you have? They're going to figure that out regardless. Oh, what she's now saying is, he must got to tell me how much money he makes just to keep me, because he can't keep me with anything else. Women,
I've never needed $1 to get a woman in my life, Johnny. I got just...
Yeah, I mean...
women are going to like to be with...
No, I mean, I never had any money anyway.
Right. And have you ever had problems getting women?
I mean, when I was younger, I had a problem with what he was describing earlier, talking myself out of the women that I probably could have gotten if I'd have kept my mouth shut. Like I say, I'm a recovering simp, and we've all gone through this.
All right, let's keep going, dog.
No matter how much money I make, obviously I'm going to try to make as much money as humanly possible. I'm going to be trying to be as rich as possible, but I'm with that. The people in my life are going to like being around me, and my money is a compliment. This is how I avoid getting finessed, like a lot of guys do, right? Oh yeah, baby, I make 6 figures, man. I'm a 6-figure earner. I make $1 million a year. Why in the world are you telling the girl that the first day you meet her? Why are you even telling her that the first month, 3 months?
I'll tell you why. It's because they ain't shit as men, and they need something to stand on to keep her interested in, because they're not interested in the dude on their own.
Right.
This woman should know things about you anytime. When a woman figures out you are a millionaire, right, in 6 months, as she's liked you for you, what do you think that does? It makes her so, wow, this dude is this successful, and he didn't have to mention that. Attraction increases. Opposed to you, you're going to be, yeah, baby, I make 6 figures, man. I'm a 6-figure earner. I'm a 6-figure earner. She's like,
value target.
Is that all that is?
I never sounded like that.
I heard Bernie Moran.
All right, give me just a second.
That's okay. Just mute it. I'll talk through the commercial. I don't give a shit. Yeah.
Oh, man.
That is definitely that's for sure. Because here's the thing: not only are you not leading with your wallet at that stage, but like he said, now she's discovered your stoicism. Because here you are making this amount of money, showing this level of success, and yet she didn't find that out until she'd been seeing you for a while. So yeah, man. I mean, the thing of it is that the funny thing is confidence goes a long way, but that humility does too, but not the way you might think, because confidence plus that humility of her not finding out that you're a six-figure guy until, she's at least had got a significant role in your life is going to tell her, here's a guy that didn't have to lead with anything but himself. He didn't lead with his wallet. He didn't lead with his car. He didn't even lead with his lower appendage. He led with who he is, and he makes no apologies for who he is. And now I'm just along for the ride because I know that this amazing guy can find somebody else. So if I plan to stay with him, now I got to act right. Now I got to treat him right.
All right, let's keep going.
Who you are as a person. Yes, it's stability. Yes, it makes you more on her own. It's always best when you find out more things about you by themselves. Number 3. How many women you've been with? See, guys.
All right, look, I'm gonna hear him out on this, but
I'm gonna edit that. Don't tell her how few women you've been with.
Women know when you a dude that's been slinging. You've been slinging. If you a guy who's been, women can tell your energy is calm. You're not tell. You don't gotta be like, yeah, man, I get girls, man, I get chicks. This is something that plays to my disadvantage because women realize that I'm a dating coach. They know I give advice to men about women, and it tends to, like, if I don't play this correctly, it tends to work against me because women will start thinking that I'm trying to oversell myself. Women want to figure out that you're good with women by themselves, right? But luckily, I know how to play this right. I don't lead off with that. I box what I do, helping men get better with women as like my purpose. I love helping men be more successful in life with their relationships, right? With their image. I love doing all of that. So I don't put it as like I'm some womanizer because all it does is it will devalue my actual skills with women. Women want to know that I'm good with women by themselves. Like I just told you about your money. So you always be female nature.
Yeah, here's the thing. 2 things about that. Number 1,
can't rock with that, dog. I
can, and I'll tell you why. Here's the thing. You can make her believe, like he said, that it's easy for you to find a woman without actually telling her that it's easy for you to find a woman. Now, do you answer the body count question? No. First of all, you shouldn't even know that. Second of all, the other thing is that when and here's the response that I would give. When she says, well, how many girls have you been with? I'm going to make a joke. That's what I do. I'm going to go, I don't know, like a month or, I mean, the things like that. The fact of the matter is, the second thing I was going to say is, well, building on the first thing, remember one thing. Women don't want men that women don't want. Okay? She can tell if women would want you without you having to tell her that women want you. Because here's the thing. If you got to tell her that you're good with girls, or you got to tell her that you get a lot of girls, do you?
All right, let's keep going here.
If I feel like I'm the best fighter in the world, do I have to tell people that? No, F around and find out, man.
So you don't answer the body count question.
I wouldn't know what it was anyway.
Right, same. So I don't get asked shit like that. I really don't, dog.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not a very common question that I get asked on, like, especially on the initial dates. My current girlfriend has never asked me that. And actually, come to think of it, I don't think my last 3 girlfriends have, and 2 of them were nuts.
Yeah, women don't ask me what my count is, but let's keep going.
What is that? Oh, red pill. What is that? Not knowing that you know all of it. All right. You want women to figure out that you're very good with women on their own. You don't want to lead off, man. I know about girls, man. I get all these girls. All these girls want me. You're overcompensating for something. Why?
All right, so I don't need to tell them that, dog. I got a lost and found box, and we talked about this before. Okay, when women come over to my house, there's a little lost and found box. And I can run over there and grab it real quick, but I've done videos on this, posted pictures of it. So when women come over to your house, gentlemen, sometimes they leave things behind. Sometimes it's on purpose. Sometimes it's on accident. And shout out to Steve the Dean Williams for how to set up your crib. But Steve teaches you to get a little clear plastic tote and write lost and found on it with a marker, and then all the stuff that women leave behind are going to end up in there, because sometimes women are trying to mark their territory, okay, and they want to mess up what you got going on with other women. And then sometimes women are not in the right state of mind when they leave your house, dog. You were just hitting the bottom, beating the brakes off it, an earring came off. You know, it happens. So it doesn't matter if she left it intentionally or unintentionally. It all goes in the lost and found box. So you're going to have makeup in there, jewelry, hair scrunchies and stuff. And when women come over and they see this lost and found box with all this stuff from women in it, they know what the deal is. They're not asking me questions like that, Johnny.
Yeah, I don't really get the body count question very often in my dating life. I think the last time I got that question was probably in my 20s. I think they don't want to know
her how good you are with women. She's gonna figure that out. So keep to yourself your knowledge.
Johnny, she's gonna know how good I am with women by how good I am in bed.
That's kind of what he's talking about too.
Right? If she asks you, man, how you so good with girls? I bet you get all the girls, huh? That's what they're gonna tell you. I just living my life. I just focus on me. I let women focus on me. That's all you got to say.
I like what he said about focusing on me, because I think a lot of guys don't do enough of that.
Right. Yeah. Instead, they think they're focusing on themselves, but what they're trying to do is morph themselves around what they think this girl they're so into, or the type of girls they're into in general, are looking for. And guys, I'm telling you, number one, half the time you're wrong about that. And number two, if you think for 1 second that they can't tell that you're shaping yourself to get with them, then I would say listen to us or listen to this guy a little bit more.
She can get the hint that you're good with girls without you having to say directly, yeah, man, I understand female nature. I know about the deals with women. Let her figure out that pre-selection that other women want you on her own. Number 4, your personal secrets.
Oh,
Oh, you get the pillow.
Let's let him talk.
You start telling her everything about you. You start oversharing, telling the woman this, oh, yeah, in school, I used to do this. I used to dig in my nose. Bro, keep your personal secrets. A lot of guys open up too much to women. There are things about you that nobody knows. You do some weird. You should know. Keep it to yourself. You bonding with the girl, but you know female nature. Anything and everything will be used against you, like the court of law. This is Women 101.
Female nature.
Yeah, and
Johnny, can I get an explanation for what that is? You have a definition of that? Can you break that down for me?
I guess in a way, see, the thing you got to remember is that there is, while it is true that every woman's personality is different, especially in modern times, that doesn't mean that behavioral patterns are different. Personality and behavioral patterns are completely different. Personality, hey, one girl might like watching the Smurfs, another girl might like watching Fraggle friggin' Rock. I'm showing my age on both of those, by the way. But the other thing you got to remember too is that just because there's those differences in preferences and personalities and things like that, remember that heavily influenced by music, heavily influenced by the media in general, and let's face it, heavily influenced by their environments and their surroundings and what has worked and what hasn't. You know, that there is a behavioral pattern. There's a way they respond to certain things that we are going to say and do. There's a way that they're going to respond even to so simple a stimulus as to how we look and or sound. Any one of those things. If you understand those behavioral patterns, or at least the average behavioral pattern, that can be instrumental in knowing how to navigate yourself through both easy and difficult situations, whether in a relationship or seeking one.
Well, Johnny, here's been my experience. Women are not one way. They're very multifaceted. So
Right.
just because
in their personalities, you're correct.
They would treat one guy a certain way doesn't mean they're going to treat me that same way they treated him. It's going to be
but that's what I'm saying. That's a behavioral pattern. Yes.
So
that's how they respond to who you are versus how they respond to who the other guy might be or might not be.
All right. Well, thank you for giving us a definition, because I have trouble understanding female nature, because, you know, they all treat me like a king. But let's see what he has to say here.
Anything and everything will be used against you. No matter when you say it, no matter how and what you're saying to it. Always. You guys, as soon as you get some booty, as soon as you start liking the girl, here you go oversharing. Telling her everything about you. Telling her all your secrets, all your desires. Keep it to yourself. You are the masculine man that she has a constant journey of trying to figure out. This makes you more mysterious. This makes you more attractive. I'm not saying you gotta hide stuff from people, but god damn, bro, you don't gotta be telling the girl what you was doing with your homeboy in the playground with the girls at school. Keep it to yourself. Oh yeah, man, when I was in the playground, man, we used to be, bro, things about you need to stay with you. The things you've done in the past that you're not sure how other people will view them, please keep them to yourself. Please.
If you have to ask yourself whether or not you should say it, don't say it.
Number 5, that her actions get you emotional. There's a reason.
Oh,
okay, number 5 here says.
Oh yeah, we're gonna speak on this one. I want to hear him out, but after he's done, I'm gonna give him my take. I bet he's gonna say what I'll probably say anyway. Good.
All right.
He's not let this one last, and it's important. Guys, I want you to understand something about women. Women subconsciously test men. I would thank my own mother. I love her to death. I love my mom. I will die for her. Anything, I will give her the whole world. My mother taught me a lot about female nature, more than women. Just how emotional women can get. Women need to know that their emotions never get you rattled. Whether it's your girl.
Okay, so there's a proper way to handle that and mitigate women's emotions. When they get emotional, you handle it like this. You say, yo, I don't know if that's how you talk to people, but that's not how you're going to talk to me. We don't do that over here.
I don't think that's what he's talking about.
Okay.
At least that's what
let me hear him out.
That's not what I'm. All right, yeah. What I'm trying to say, what I'm hearing from him is this: you are going to run into girls, and most girls are going to give you what they call the old shit test. And I love that he touched on the fact that it's subconscious. Because here's the thing, ladies: we know you don't mean to do it. We know you're not trying to be shitty to us when you do that. We know that that is a defense mechanism to protect you from the guys that are too weak and or too dangerous to date. Okay, so we get that. We're not mad at you. Okay, I'm not mad at you. I understand that that is a survival tactic, and number one, and number two, chances are because it's a survival tactic, you're probably not even aware that you're doing it. And look, the shit test is kind of necessary in a way, because as Bill was pointing out earlier, you know, she's going to be gauging your responses, gauging your body language, gauging everything else. So number one, why should you not be doing the same? And number two, when she does, and there are going to be times when she's going to do things that are going to want to elicit a reaction from you. Think about this. I'm gonna paint you a picture. You meet a girl, you like her, you get her digits, you go out, you text, you use the phone only to set up the date. You do not use the phone to sit there and talk to her for 2 freaking hours. You do not do it to send her the good morning beautiful text for 6 days in a row. You use it to set up the date. Okay. So anyway, you meet the girl, you get together with her, everything's going great. And then after a few dates, all of a sudden you don't hear from her for a few days. You don't hear from her for a week. You don't hear from her for a couple of weeks. This is her pulling away, because by doing so, she can figure out, are you the guy that's going to be talking to yourself in her DMs? Hey girl. Hey, how's it going? Hey. You're going to see this whole list. I got to tell you, it makes me sad when I see that screenshot, and believe me, she'll post screenshots of all these things happening if you do that sort of thing. So now you have shown yourself to be mentally and emotionally weak, because all she did was pull back for a few days, and now you're blowing her shit up. Come on, man, you can't do that. So that's just one good example of her actions eliciting an emotional response from you. And that emotional response is exactly the one that is going to show her the weakness that she wants to avoid. And remember, this is a biological thing. This is subconscious. They don't know they're wired for this unless they really study it.
All right, let's keep going, Johnny.
Yeah.
Girlfriend, your mom, your aunt, your sister, whatever it is, women test you subconsciously. See, a lot of you guys think women are doing this stuff on purpose. No, they just do it. It's subconscious. This is why. This is the problem. This is what happens, right? When women are doing it subconsciously, guys get frustrated because you think she's poking at you, she's jabbing at you. This is her nature, bro. She needs to be constantly testing your value.
I've never had a woman try to test
Yes,
my value. My value is apparent every interaction they have with me.
I'll bet you a 12-pack of beer that they have. I'll bet you a 12-pack of beer that they have. And here's the thing. They are so good at it that we don't notice it. You got to understand this is subconscious for her, and she's praying to God it's going to be subconscious for you. And guess what? It is. And look, to have been shit tested, it's not a matter of her outsmarting you. That's not what it is at all. This is not about her setting you up for some grand prank. This isn't her setting you up to embarrass you at this stage. This is her seeing if she can elicit a strong response or an emotional response. We touched on this on one of our previous episodes. Are you going to respond with strength and stoicism? Or are you going to cave and crumble under the pressure of, oh my God, she's not talking to me. I got to text her so she doesn't forget that she's interested in me. Now, I want you to think about the logic of that, fellas. You don't want her to forget to text you? Bro, she's interested. She ain't going to forget to do nothing for you.
Okay, back to the shit test thing. Women don't subconsciously, psychologically shit test me. The only thing they do subconsciously and psychologically is be submissive for me because they're following my lead. And a lot of guys don't understand what it means to have a submissive woman. So allow me to break this down. Okay, submission, sub meaning under. Mission, meaning the plan. If she's following your instructions, then she is being submissive because she is following your plan. So when I have a submissive woman who's following my plan, how can she shit test me?
Because here's the thing. By the time she's decided to be submissive, she has already shit tested you and you passed without even knowing it. That's how.
but I have led every interaction with her from the time I met her, decided that I liked what I seen and was going to go have a conversation with her. And from there, if I like that conversation, then I'm giving her my number. I'm leading her the whole time. Hey, text me later.
And if she liked the conversation, she let you have her number.
No, she didn't. They take I don't ask women for their numbers. I mean, I get them. Sure. Sometimes women, a confident woman will give me their number, but more often than not, I have to step to the woman, have a conversation with her, see if I want to have another conversation with her and give her my number. So, but I'm leading every interaction. I don't see where the shit test is. Because if she wasn't interested,
you're not supposed to see where it is. You're not supposed to see. She doesn't want you to see where it is. This is the kind of thing that she has to be able to see. And remember, not only is her desire to shit test you subconscious, but the test and the results themselves are going to be subconscious on her and your parts respectively. Now, I'm no psychiatrist, but what I am saying is that every woman, and if she doesn't do this, she's not being very careful with herself. She's not protecting herself properly. Every woman is going to shit test you. When they're submissive to you, Bill, and I know they are, because again, sledgehammer, but they're submissive to you because they already gave you subconscious shit test and you passed it. That's the good news. But the thing of it is, the best part about the shit test is if you're already the high value man or the kind of value man she's looking for, you're not going to know she's shit testing you because you're just that guy naturally. And I think that's what you're describing. You are that guy naturally who passes those shit tests. So of course you don't notice that she's doing it because you don't fail them.
Feel like
that's all I'm
if I
saying.
knew I was being shit tested, I would get rid of her. Who
But you're
wants
not
to
gonna
be
know.
with somebody? All right, let's keep going, Johnny. This is one of those things where we digress on.
I know.
It's what makes it so great.
Oh yeah, absolutely, America.
He's like the
So great.
up and down, side to side, waves. Ooh, whoosh, whoosh. You need to be that.
Yeah, he's
No matter what a woman says to you, even in the heat of
Look, I gotta give this guy some credit, man, because
Absolutely.
he's made
right.
a couple really good points in this little podcast here, in this little episode.
To me, he hasn't missed.
This is why a lot of guys lose their woman and arguments happen.
I'm giving him. I don't know, man. He loses me on some of it.
Well, I don't think his choice of words is always the best, but he's right.
Start reacting to them in a crazy way. She realizes your weak points. No matter how intense things get, you always want to be calm. When I'm arguing with my chick or any girl I'm dealing with or my mom.
Again, that's something I don't understand. Arguing with women. Y'all argue with women?
Okay.
I would say we debate.
You did this, you that, you don't do this, you never do this. Okay.
I'm sorry, John, you were breaking up. You say that again?
Well, I mean, we're not talking. He's talking about fussing, fighting, yelling, and screaming. Now, yeah, I mean that's
right. And I don't do that.
No, that's
do that over here.
I'll debate you as long as we can keep it classy, but I'm not gonna sit there and get the screaming match. No.
Can't talk like an adult. I won't talk to you.
Yep.
This is who I am. I have mastered this because Zen stoic figure. Guess what happens? She starts to calm down. It ain't no point in arguing with somebody who ain't gonna argue back. It ain't no point in me screaming at somebody who ain't gonna scream back.
All right, you got a good.
I used to have a phrase
when I was married to escalate the situation, and she's a 10, and you're at a 2. You know, she can't. You're not letting her move you off of your square.
Yep,
I see where he's coming from on that.
Absolutely.
What were you gonna say about being married?
When I was married, my wife and I would argue about certain things And if you know, you can always tell when you're not going to get anywhere with somebody as hard-headed as that. So I would usually break it down. And one of my friends gave me the best advice. I broke it down to one question. I would say, let me ask you something. After we've been discussing this for the past however long, do you think that I'm still just as wrong as we were when we first started talking? And if she says yes, and believe me, she always did, I would go, well, I guess that conversation's over. And then you walk away. Done.
That's it. All right, let's let him finish up here.
And when she realizes that she can't do that with you, she starts to feel safer with you. She starts to respect you more. She starts to realize, oh, this is somebody that I can come to when things are shaky. Because with women, things are always shaky. They can get shaky at any moment. But if she realizes that her emotions can get you off center, whoosh, that rock is knocked all over, the waves are on the shore. Nah, she smells the weakness. She like a wolf, smelling, looking for the weakness.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because here's the thing, and this is exactly why she should test you, like I said, and like he said. If she can move you off that square with her emotions, how are you going to react when things come from external forces, when you guys are in a more serious situation? Let's say you're in a domestic situation. What are you going to do if one of you loses your job? What are you going to do? How are you going to handle it? If you can't even handle her emotions and her shit tests, how are you going to handle the real problems in life? Now, is she articulately thinking that to herself in those words? No. Like we said, it's subconscious. But it's a very, very good instinct that they have. And believe me, they're very, very good at using it because, once again, they don't know they're doing it. It's just how they're wired.
If she realizes that things she said to you or her behavior can get you rattled up, it's over for you. You want to be calm, centered, focused. When she realizes that you're not easily moved off center, that woman will fall in love with you. There's no woman that can truly fall in love with you if she does test your strength. If she tests you and you fail, she's not falling in love with you. If she tests your strength and you pass it, you don't get emotional, her heart is opening up. This is how you make women.
Does that sound familiar, Bill?
They're going to test you. You can't avoid it. They're going to test your strength. They're going to play games. They're going to be dramatic. How do you respond to it? If you're calm, relaxed, now you're her safe hand. If you get emotional and start screaming and yelling at her like an emotional child, over. She can never respect you. She found the weakness, and you set your watch to it that you about to get cheated on. And that's it, guys. These are 5 things that you must always have from women. Keep this in your notebook. In your phone, save it, and don't forget.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say, honestly, I don't know that I would have chosen I wouldn't have chosen all the language that he used when it came to describing things. I think there were a couple of words I would have changed in there. The sentiment and the meaning behind behind really all 5 concepts that he introduced to us tonight. You and I know he didn't introduce anything that we didn't already see. But again, he's talking about lesser experienced guys who are trying to get there. Okay. And so I think that he had to break that language down to a level that those guys will understand and be able to put into practice, number one. Because remember, whenever you coach somebody, and as a personal trainer, I can tell you, when I coach somebody, there are times when I'll tell them an exaggerated version of what I want their particular movement to be, for example, just because I know this person well enough to know that when they go to do it the way I said it, they're going to end up doing it the correct way. And I think that's what he's doing in a mental way for these guys. He's breaking it down into language that they're going to be able to understand. And he's also breaking it down into a process that they're going to at least have an easier time following than simply saying, oh, well, I've got to go from simp to stoic overnight. No, you don't, but it would help do it quickly.
Well, I think he did a very good job. There were some things I didn't necessarily agree with, but hey, who am I to agree with on the internet other than me? So, but
now, I think he hit all points on the head.
He's making some real good points, and I appreciate what he's doing out there.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
All right. Well, Johnny, is there anything you want to say before we wrap this up tonight?
Yeah. One thing I want to touch on, and it's just going to be real quick, and I think we definitely do want to do a show on this because now I know that Bill will tell you he's not red pill. I am to a certain extent only because I had to kind of discover why things were happening that were going wrong to me. And, the red pill and manosphere, it did help me greatly in that regard. However, the one thing that I want to caution you guys, especially the manosphere red pill guys, is a concept that I heard, and shout out to Donovan Sharp on this one. It's called red pill rage. Okay. Here's how it works. We study this, we hear the behavioral patterns like we were discussing earlier. We talk about the reason why this gentleman had to tell us about the 5 things, that you never tell a woman. The reason we do all these things is because we know that we've been screwed over in the past. And once we start to learn what they do, why they do it, how they do it, we get angry because we're like, oh my God, I remember ABC doing this to me back in high school, or I remember XYZ doing this to me in college, or Jesus Jones, some of these things my wife did. Okay. And then you realize, my God, not only did I let them do this to me, but I let them do this to me over and over and over. Well, they're all evil and to hell with them. I'm just going to, I'm going to MGTOW, go my own way and never date anybody again. And hey, if you can commit to that, go for it. I applaud you, man, if you can manage to do that. But if you don't want to do that and you still want to understand, you have to be able to encapsulate that red pill rage, no pun intended. Much like I did. For a while, I was angry, right? I was angry. These girls have been taking me for a ride since I was like 15 years old. I discovered all this kind of stuff in my early 30s after I got my ass handed to me by my ex-wife. And these are things that they make you mad. They make you really want to lash out at society. But remember, you're lashing out at half society, and there's several billion of them that aren't responsible for the things that have happened to you. And the only person that's going to be able to be responsible for the things that are going to happen in the future is you. And the only way you can make sure that you get positive results is if you take control of your own life, you take responsibility for your own happiness. And if she wants to come along for the ride and she fits your mold, excellent. But remember, she needs to know that there's no 100% certain things, because the minute she feels like that, you become predictable. And predictable is boring.
All right, Johnny, thank you so much. I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. Do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to our channels. Johnny, I see your YouTube channel starting to grow, man. You got some really good content up there, man. I want all you young men to go check out Johnny Dumbbell on YouTube. All right.
I was excited. Yeah,
We'll be back Thursday night with some more live Bumble dating profiles, and hopefully we'll have TK. We might have a little surprise special guest for some of y'all, and we'll be back Thursday night. So thanks for watching. We out.